Hi y'all, hi everybody, it's Kimberly here. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah. I think Hanukkah's already over, I'm not sure, I don't know. Happy Kwanzaa, everything, any happy celebration for anybody, for if anybody celebrates this day. I hope everybody's having a good time with their family, and if you're not with your family, hopefully this will be over soon, and maybe you can reconnect, and let's just hope it gets over with fast, much faster than what it has been, hopefully. Well, I was going to break up the monotony of everybody. I'm sure they've all opened presents and they had the Christmas Eve dinner and done everything with the family, and maybe they're a little bored tonight. If you are, maybe if you're scrolling through YouTube, you might hit my video. So I'm just going to go on with one of my Bad Bosses series. Actually, I'm going to do the continuation of the last Bad Boss series video that I did. And I was talking about a manufacturing plant that I worked at, and it was one of the most dangerous places I've ever worked at, and one of the worst jobs I've ever had. And one day I walked in, and I noticed there was this flame, not a flame, it was like a sparkler going off, but it was taller than me. I'm like 5'3", and it was probably going like almost, maybe not quite 6 feet tall, but it was, shooting way up in the air. It looked like a giant sparkler, and it was like as wide as, probably 2 or 3 feet wide, just shooting out sparkles or whatever. And that manufacturing plant, they have huge machines that weigh, I don't know how many tons, like 5 tons or 10 tons. And they're bolted to the cement floor. And there's a workway of electrical lines throughout the bottom of the floor. And then they've got these little trenches that they can open up with it's got like a metal opening, like a panel, and they just pull it open so they can work on the lines. And it was one of those lines in the floor, and it was had a short or busted or something, and it was just shooting up. I was like, are they working on it? Are they doing anything to it? And everybody's like, no. They said they were going to get to it. And so I went and got some, like, the little chalk block things that you block the wheels with of certain trailers or tires or whatever. We had some of those, and I got a cart, and I just made like a little semicircle around it. It was up against the wall, but it's still, it was, if somebody wasn't paying attention, every once in a while it would shut off. And if they had walked over to that, it would have electrocuted them. There was like numerous things like that. There was a lot of electrical hazards there, and they were just not taken care of. It was just very antiquated there. The equipment there was so old. And in the back room, they would have parties, and I didn't know this when I first started working there. They would be drinking and they had their little table with the cards on it. They were just piddling around, instead of doing their work. And I'd be looking for a mechanic or somebody, and where are they, and it took a while for anybody really pointed it out to me. They're in the back. They're not working. They're piddling around. And so I figured that out. And then there was hanky panky that went on there. And thank goodness I didn't see it, but there's numerous people that did see it, saw it by accident when they're walking in the back room, or even in the cars. You would see like a little white butt going up and down occasionally. It was described to me. I never saw it, but thank goodness I didn't want to see it. And one girl was in one of the parties, and she was doing a striptease. And she was drunk and high, and I don't know what, but she tripped on the pallet and broke her foot or ankle. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But when the medics got there, or the EMTs or whatever, she couldn't walk. It was really messed up, and it was really hurting her. And she was crying, and she didn't have her shirt on, so they put her shirt on her, and then they took her to the emergency room, but they couldn't give her any pain pills or any pain medication for like 10 or 12 hours because of what she had already ingested. so that wasn't good. And I did mention, the owner, he kind of just, my little dog is here. That's what that noise is. She's walking on the console. This is Dumpling. Yeah, Dumpling. This is my little Dumpling. She's so cute. I love you, baby. Yes, baby, I'm telling a story. Okay. She's so sweet, so tiny. Where was I? Oh, yeah, he just kind of let things happen like that. He didn't pay attention, He lost everything. His family left him, and he ended up filing bankruptcy and had to end up working like a sales job, like a salesman for some kind of, I don't know, some kind of equipment or something like that. So he just never took care of problems like this. Even if they got reported, he didn't do anything. He didn't care, He would act kind of like, I don't know, just a little upset that you reported it to him. He didn't even care. Didn't even want to know. And this, the guy that I mentioned in the other video, the one that was real, my boss that was real sarcastic and real condescending, he was raised on a pig farm. And I made a comment one time. I said, he acts like a pig, and everybody started laughing. They told me he was raised on a pig farm, like way out in the sticks, and he never got to, he would always complain when he was young he never got to go anywhere because he always had to work on the pig farm. So I think that mentally affected him, not being socialized around people when he was growing up. I really believe that. And I talked about my group leader friend, floor leader, who was my friend at a point in time in the other video, and she fell in love with me, and just one day she started her period by accident, and she didn't have any of the accoutrement to deal with that. And the guy she was having an affair with, he went to the store and bought her a big box of pads about this big, the biggest box he could find. And he walked in there all proud, carrying it, like, and just gave it to her. Here you go. He went to the store and bought it for her. And it was just so surreal, He was just so proud to do that for her. And he was married with kids and that. And there was this one girl there, and I felt really bad for her because I think people kind of treat her like a little less than, she wasn't very attractive, And I, above all, don't like to judge people by what they look like, And, I'm no beauty queen by my standards, and I just don't like it when people judge other people, men or women, by their looks. And she wasn't like your typical, I don't know, I want to say she wasn't very attractive, and I'm trying not to be mean, and she's the one who brought it up to me one day. I didn't, I never said anything about it, and I, had never had any issue with her or anything. She was a little, I don't want to say neurotic, more like crybaby-ish. I judge people more on how they treat me and how I see them treat other people. I don't care what your looks are. And she said to me one day, I know I'm not pretty. I know I'm not, a pretty girl, and guys don't look at me that way. And she said this as she was raising her arm across in front of my face to reach something. And I was sitting down. She was very short, and it was right level. And she didn't shave her armpits, which, not judging, but I was like, okay. And at the same time, she made this statement. She didn't even see me going, and she made a statement like, oh, I forgot to shave my legs. I was like, what? You have 2 hamsters under your armpits, but you forgot to shave your legs, and you're worried about that? And there was like almost no stubble on her legs. She was like, look, oh my God. I was like, okay. Okay. And then one day, we had a supervisor who was a dog, and he was kind of creepy, and had already been warned about him. And he took her one day when they got off work, and they had a little rendezvous in a motel room. He rented a motel room, and she proceeded to tell me about it the next day, which I didn't want to hear. Too much information. Don't want to care. Don't even want to hear it. And then he was giving job reviews the next day, and she came and told me he gave me a goddamn good job review and a big raise. And I was like, I wanted to. This is after I'd already complained about several things. I was like, nothing ever gets done. Nobody cares. And so I just, that was one of the last straws there. I just, and she didn't do half the work that I did. And then one day, I was constantly getting to arguments with the main group leader above Laura, and she was real backstabby and real manipulative with the supervisor, and he was always drunk, and she just kind of not really defended him. She just didn't care, and one day she told me that I was slow, and she said it in the middle of a meeting, and she kept saying it, and I was like, no, I'm not. And I would run all the machines that nobody else could run. She had maybe one or two of us that can run these machines, and the other girl, half the time she didn't show up, because it was real stressful, and the way they treated us, the way they hounded us, and we were treated like garbage. And I was, real mad, just upset, and I kept yelling in the middle of the meeting, no, I'm not. How come you have only me running that machine? Why don't you have somebody else? And the next day, I was there to run the machine, and I was so pissed off, and I was so mad. This went on for months, and then the supervisor, he was drunk one day. He came up, and he was behind me. I nearly put his eye out with the X-Acto knife. I explained that in the other video. And after that, he came and told me, well, okay. And because I would constantly complain and scream and yell and fight with them, and nobody else really did that. And I threw like a box of stuff away one day. I was like, what does it matter? Just after the way they were, telling us we're not doing our jobs, and they wanted us just to run it with the production. I had done a lot of work, and I had trouble with the mechanics, and I was just so mad. I just took the whole box and threw it in the trash. What does it matter? Just, I put a big 0 on my paperwork, and I was like, if y'all want it, y'all can get it out of the trash. I don't care, and after that, I kind of started I just didn't care. After that, I started, like, not being a good employee. I've never done that at any job, and it was just the whole atmosphere of that place. And then that day, he was telling me, okay, all right, like as if they were going to stop harassing me or something. He didn't say it, but like he just knew he was kind of stuck, because a lot of people, they had constant turnover. People quit. Every weekend they'd hire new temporary workers, and it took like 30 days or something, 30 or 60 days to get hired permanent, and they would just walk out the first or second day. We went through constant turnover, and I was like, I didn't care at that point. And then I went on lunch break, and my friend George, who also would show up to work drunk every day, he was constantly drunk, but he was my friend, and I was like, oh, whatever, they didn't do anything to him, the boss was drunk all the time, so really I couldn't complain about him, and he was working my machine while I went on lunch break, and I just didn't go back. And then he called me, I think that morning, and he goes, where the hell were you? I sat at that machine for like an hour waiting for you. I was like, I'm sorry, George. I couldn't even go back to the table. I was just so mad. I just got my purse on my locker and I left. And that was the end of that. And Well, I'm just telling a little bit more about that. All the drama and gossip or whatever about that place. It was a horrible place. One of the worst places ever. And, well, hope any of you have never had to work in a situation like that, had to go through stuff like that, because it's so nerve-wracking, and it can really ruin a job that you think that, you're doing really good at, and then just having to deal with situations like that and working in that environment. And I mean, there's still more stories of that place, but I think that's enough of that place I'm going to talk about, because it even, right now, just the memories of it are, ugh, I can't stand even thinking about it. Okay, well, thank you all. Hope you all have a good day.